Hello everybody and welcome back to our channel. I'm Lumberjack and he's Sawdust. Alright, so tonight we're going to try to do something a little different. We have a log on the mill. We're going to saw it into a square cant. We got to get some 1x8 boards. But before we start cutting boards, we're going to try something new. So stick with us and let's see how this idea works out. Alright guys, so this is part of my idea. This is just a regular standard circular saw. I got it set at 2 inches deep, but I think it'll actually go to about 2.5 inches deep. But we're going to score this all the way down every 5 inches. And it just so happens that the saw is 5 inches between the blade and the side, so this ought to go pretty quick. Okay, so we scored this cant, or took the saw and sawed through this cant 2 inches down every 5 inches. Can go deeper with the saw, but this is an experiment, so we don't want to go too deep and ruin the cant. All right, part 2 of this idea in just a second. Okay, so right now what I want you to do, we're at 12 3/4.
12.5.
No, 12 3/4 to the top of the cant.
Correct.
All right, so now you're down at 12.5. Correct. All right, so what I want you to do is start sawing and go down a 1/4 inch increment each time.
Each time what?
Each time you saw, go through and then drop down another 1/4 inch.
Oh, okay.
You have to use your inch scale over here. Okay, so you're at 12.5. The next cut's going to be 12 1/4. I'm not sure how this is going to work out, so let's give it a try and see what happens. Alright, so next cut's going to be 12 1/4. These are 8 inches by 5.5, and we've got 7 rows deep by 21 of those. Okay, so we ended up with 147 of these. Now let me show you what these are. Okay, so here is what we made, and I'm not a master craftsman or a builder or anything else, but we made shingles, 147 of them. We timed it. It took us 15 minutes to make 147 of these. Now these are only 5x8s. You can make them bigger. I suppose you can make them narrower, but this was just because this is the cant we had on the log. But I think that came out really well. They're just the right thickness to be a shingle. I may put some of these on the well house. See how they look. Now this is white pine. I suppose if you wanted to, you could do this out of cedar, which would be great. Or you could do it out of ash, which is a lot of ash in the North Country here. Now if you wanted your shingles to run straight grain instead of cross grain like we did, you get a wider cant, pop a chalk line down the center of it. Then you cut these, and instead of cutting them every 5 inches, you cut them like 10 inches or 12 inches, however long you want your seed or your shingles. And then that would make your shingle grain run this way instead of this way. I just wanted to cut this to see if it would work, and by God, it worked very, very well. Okay, so now we're back to our square cant. The experiment's over. I like the way it worked out. I think that's going to be pretty neat. I'm going to actually put some of them up on our tree stands just to give it a nice look. Alright, so we're going to cut this rest of this into 1x8s. As far as I'm concerned, the experiment worked. That was only a 2-inch deep cut by the circular saw, and then 1/4 inch increments. I'm happy with the way that turned out. Alright guys, we appreciate you watching. Give us a thumbs up. Hit that bell. And subscribe. For Two Brothers Outdoors, I'm Lumberjack.
I'm Sawdust.
And we will catch you on the next one.